Hey y'all, so just really quickly, I had a question yesterday on how do I know how many stitches to start my foundation chain if I wanted to do something other than a baby blanket. So if you don't know, the other day I put out a video on how to make a baby blanket, a stroller blanket actually, so it's really small, and I had someone reach out to me and say, "What I love that blanket, I love the stitch, but I want it to be bigger." So how would I go about doing that? Great question. I've had that plenty of times, and so I want to go ahead and address it here. Now, if you follow me over on Instagram, which I suggest that you do, I went ahead and put the answer for that supporter over on Instagram. So if you follow me there, you may see it in my stories and wonder, what am I talking about? Well, this is what I'm talking about. How many stitches do I need to make in order to change a blanket size? So that's a tricky question because really stitches are going to be determined by the type of yarn, the size hook, your tension, the project. So a lot of things go into determining how many actual stitches you're going to need. When a pattern writer or someone puts down, I used 120 stitches, that's what they use to get their blanket. But that's based off of, like I said, their yarn, their crochet hook. So if you know you may not be using the exact same thing and you want to adjust that, let me show you how you would do that. And this is just a crude, easy way of doing it. There are probably tons of other ways of doing it, but this is for my beginners who want to get started, okay? So let's just take, for instance, we're going to pretend, come with me on pretend island. Say this is your Afghan. Obviously, this is a pillow, but say this is your Afghan, right? You would make your foundation chain, sit here for me. You would make your foundation chain to the width of this Afghan. So if I were making, if say the pattern writer was talking about a stroller blanket and you were going to make an Afghan, you would take your Afghan, you would then create your foundation chain, hold it up against your Afghan, and then that would be a good way of determining that. Another way too, or let me see, oh, you guys, okay. You could also take your measuring tape. You can measure across your Afghan or your project. With that number, so in this case it's between 13 to 14 inches, you would make your foundation chain, right? And you would just measure, sit down my Afghan, you would just measure along until you got to the same measurement. Does that make sense? Okay, now my project that I just created said that it had to be in a multiple of 3. You may see that. Sometimes they'll say it needs to be in a multiple of 2, maybe in a multiple of 5. If that happens, when you make your foundation chain, so for instance, say this foundation chain took me 13 stitches. So when I was doing my actual crocheting, I was counting, and then I finally got to 13, and that is the exact number that I needed, right? Well, that wouldn't be the right number for your project if it had to be in a multiple of 3. So if it had to be in a multiple of 3, then what you would have to do is you would have to either take away a stitch to go down to 12, because that would be a multiple of 3, or you would need to go up to 15 to be in the multiple of 3. So basically, you would just go up or down a little bit to ensure that you're at the number that is required for that pattern. And oftentimes, so it would be one thing for the crocheter, excuse me, guys. It would be one thing for the crocheter or the pattern writer to just say, do a chain of 33 or do a chain of 36. That's fine, but that may not get you what you're looking for. If I'm trying to make a king size blanket, well, obviously 33 foundation chain would not get me that. So you would take whatever the suggested dimensions are for that project. If you have it, measure it. If you don't, you can get like a size chart, and you would then just take those dimensions, make your foundation chain, and then just kind of adjust it a little bit based off of the suggestion of either being a multiple of 2, 3, or 5. I hope that makes sense. So that's the first way I would do it. I would just if I have something at home, I would measure up against that, and then I would just create my foundation chain to kind of be around what I needed. But now, say for instance, you don't have that at home. So if I wanted to make a baby blanket, for instance, at my house, I have no babies. So it wouldn't do me any, I wouldn't have anything to measure my foundation chain against it. You can go online. I know on my website, I have size charts. I know they're all over. You would just type in how to crochet, what size is a baby blanket or what size is an Afghan. It will give you a suggestion, 32 by 40, 32 by 30, 50 by 60, whatever that is. Whatever the suggestion is, you would then make your foundation chain, right? Then you would get your measuring tape, and then you would just crochet into your measuring tape till your foundation chain got to the length based off your measuring tape. Does that kind of make sense? And then that allows you to customize your product. So I'll oftentimes get people to ask me, how many stitches do I need to make? And I really can't tell you if I didn't actually make that project. And oftentimes I don't make large blankets unless it's a gift or whatever, because I just don't, I don't make them just to make them. I don't sell them. So if I'm making something, it's really just to show you all. And so I may have an ideal based off what I created. But if it's something specifically for you, then using the measuring tape, using the object that you may already have in your home, that's going to be how you're going to be able to customize that, okay? So I hope that kind of makes sense. It's a question that I often get, and I try to respond back in the comment section how to do it. But sometimes I think if you're a visual learner, which is probably what you are if you're over here on YouTube, it's also helpful to be able to see what I'm talking about. So I hope that helps some. If you have any more questions about it, please leave them down in the comment section down below. I will just take this moment to make a quick plug for my Instagram. The young lady that reached out to me yesterday in my comment section, because I happen to be online, it's the thing, I'm not always online responding to comments, but I just happened to be online with her in that moment. I was able to conversate with her, and then I told her that I would put this information over on my stories on Instagram. It was timely that I could do that for her, A, because I was on the comments, but B, because I was able to go to a platform that she utilizes and was able to respond to her. So if you're on Instagram, that's awesome. Go ahead and follow me, because sometimes when you have a question, I can answer you back timely, either through direct messaging or through, like I did with her, a video in my stories. Otherwise, sometimes it just takes a time for me to get through my comments here on YouTube and then make a video as it relates, if it's something that I've gotten a lot of questions for, okay? I don't know if this would be helpful or not. I'm thinking about starting like a membership program here on YouTube. I just want to make sure that it's a benefit to you all. If you think it's something that you guys would be interested in, let me know. I will start like a small little membership program where I can offer more timely information. I get a lot of great, sweet comments about how they really love the technique that I use, and when I'm teaching, I'm slow enough and I answer questions and things. So if this would be something where I can kind of carve out a space for my newest people and they answer their questions based off that, let me know and I will start that. I still might, because I do get a lot of people that ask for it, but I don't know. It's just more, involved. It does take a little bit more work, and I don't want to fall off in one area to do something different in another if I can help it. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful, guys. I will see you soon in my next video. Again, any questions, leave them down in the comment section. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please take the time to do that. My name is Felicia, and I put out videos at least 3 to 4 times a week as it relates to crocheting, and mostly yarn reviews, and maybe an occasional plant video here or there. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Bye.